I'm truly excited to be here just to see people. I think I've only met some of you on Zoom, so I'm feeling quite overwhelmed to actually see humans. I might steal two in if that's okay, if we've got time. I'm going to do a little oldie, which is from my second book, which is a little bit about turbulent love and into domestic violence. I like to write about social issues that I really care about. It's called Cube, and I do this one a little bit on the slam scene. Multiple dimensions formulate the shape of a cube, just as multiple dimensions formulate me. This is my one-sided story. When I was a struggling high school kid, mean girls used to call me square, assuming it a flat, two-dimensional insult. But I knew it was the basis on which I could build a pyramid, or a cube, or whatever wonder took my mood. On the surface, I flash smile at passers-by, showing only the angle I want them to see. People who know me well see my other sides, loving every corner of who I am. Others kiss my cheek with their tongue and their own cheek, spreading gossip, ignorant to the fact that they are two-faced. Multiple dimensions formulate the shape of a cube, just as multiple dimensions formulate me. So here I am saying, I have more than one face, making me two-faced too. I'm not too ashamed, cheeks inflamed, to say it. Every person needs more than two sides to have any fun when rolling life's dice. And while socially, three is company, it's better to have a fourth wall. Hey, you. What are you thinking? And you? And you? Right down the back. Multiple dimensions formulate the shape of a cube. How many dimensions formulate you? Only I can be held responsible for the shape my life takes, moving 52 pieces in combination through 43.2 quintillion variations of a Rubik's Cube, making moves in the right order to create harmony amidst chaotic disorder. For a while, you helped me build a fifth side, adding bricks of confidence cemented with superficial friends paying social dividends. An architecturally flawed structure trespassing on the solid square base of my solitary childhood. You framed the future as sturdy enough to keep a roof over my head, allowing me to call your house our home, until I realized I had a sixth sense, a waterproof silver lining inside the roof, keeping me dry from the storm of lies, muting the sound of incomprehensible cries, brimming with enough instinct to know the only love I ever saw, smelled, tasted, heard, and could touch, meant nothing if sixth sense curdled my gut. From the certainty of knowing you'd put a roof above another's head and flexed your muscles inside their bed, and I hadn't misread the diabolically dire situation. You were convinced my cube would cave in. When I made the move to demolish every brick you ever laid atop my foundations, collapsing our roof to ground zero. But I'm still here, with 43.199 quintillion new moves to make. And now I've removed the toxic side of my life that was you. I've discovered it's easier to think outside a box with no ceiling, looking at blue sky. Multiple dimensions formulate the shape of a cube, just as multiple dimensions formulate me. This is my one-sided story. I'm not asking you to take sides. This is a new one, so it's not in any of the books, but it was recently published in Living Encounters, which is a magazine I think a couple of you have been in as well, so it's a little newer, and it's called The Streets. The streets are empty, no signs of life, except for the movement of last night's newspaper blowing in the breeze, soaked with vinegar and stained with grease. From burnt and buttered and battered fish and chips that passed the lips of a young girl hungry for nourishment of a home-cooked meal. Settling instead for deep-fried sustenance because she couldn't even reach the stovetop to try and warm a tin of baked beans. And nobody ever taught her how to cook because even her mama doesn't know how to knock up a meal or read a child a book before bed. As a parent, never pedigree bred and not adequately well-read herself. The streets are shadows, cast down alleyways with uncharted dark corners to navigate, besides scuttling spiders trying to bait the innocent into a tangled web of doubt where the bulbs of lampposts have long since burnt out. And the people once hitting the pavement no longer go out, because it's too dangerous to go about daily business without fear of being mugged of a purse filled with nothing but a few coins, since unemployment doesn't adequately reimburse anyone but criminals who try to coerce the bag dangling from your shoulder as they scare you with a glint of their eyes, so far gone from a catcher in the rye, their innocence lost too soon to Borstal because they set out to steal the silver spoon, always destined to be missing at birth, coming up empty-handed and red-handed from nothing but hollow turf, wars. The streets are unyielding, concrete slabs trodden on by foot soldiers marching about their business in steel caps and fluorescence, earning their keep, fighting to keep their children asleep in the trenches between threadbare cotton sheets, where the union is the weapon in the war, to make two ends meet, and the enemy of debt can never retreat and is always beat down to a pulp, stamped out beneath weary feet, trying to avoid falling between the wise cracks filled with chewed up gum, and the pun about the bum who cannot make a decent living, immortalized in the past, the present, and future proof, labeled with the unforgiving truth, a dead man walking. The streets are gold-plated, unabated treasure filled with riches beyond the dollar, invisible to the naked eye, unable to see beneath graffitied veneer the sheer value in being the deer in the headlights of the luxury vehicle rear, parked in the private driveway, positioned to make the highway on only one side of the tracks to avoid unwanted hacks on their tarmac from the poor. The streets are truth, the harsh reality of the have and have-nots, sunburnt in the harsh glare of neon lighting, blinking while clinging to hope. One letter missing because society finally broke the flow of electricity, keeping life pulsing through the veins of commoners who will never reign, but are the grain needed to remain sustainable in this unrecognizable world we have claimed as home, while walking alone along the path to divine destiny, with directions carved by hand to avoid sinking in the quicksand. I am the streets.